Hey, it's Chief bonding with board games. All right, so impromptu live, scheduled at only about 10 minutes prior. So some of you will be like, whoa, what's going on? Um, I figured I would jump on real quick because I had a wonderful, about an hour long phone conversation with Lou Zocchi, designer, Early Avalon Hill. Game Science owns a store, did a lot of polyhedron dice. Is that how you say that? I don't know. A lot of D&D dice. Um, did I say does magic shows, all kinds of stuff. So we talked on the phone yesterday. He has agreed to come on the show, but I wanted to start off first with there'll be a few caveats. He has he's got somebody loaded. It was like a scam thing, and he ended up getting his computer's hard drive was locked, and he can't use his computer. So he does not have a way to do a video type show like this. And I said, you know what? Are you willing to do it over the phone? I'll put you on speaker and we can just do an interview, kind of like how I rolled with Larry Pinsky. Larry, we actually linked up, but he couldn't get his video feed to work. So we just went with it. So we're going to do that. One of the main reasons I want to capture these interviews, even if they're not kind of ideal, is that I had a chance with Richard Berg. So the famous war game designer, Mark Herman's buddy, 70s, 80s, but he didn't have video ability. And, at the time, even the way I was linking in, I was like, well, okay, that's fine. If you get one, let me know. He was more than willing to do the show. And I wish I would have done it because, it was only like 10 months to a year after that, he ended up passing away. So, and I didn't want to miss those opportunities again. So let me see a few things here. Got no eyeballs. Usually I'd have somebody on. I'm wondering if by chance I had it clicked private. So I'm going to step away, hold for one moment. All right, that's about as fast as I can run. Whoo. So we are public. I just wanted to make sure because usually I've got a few folks coming in by now. So there's news number one. Lou Zaki will be coming on the show. I don't have a date yet. We'll do the interview not live. So that'll allow me to record it, work through any editing needs to be done, trim it up if necessary, whatever, and then I will put it out. So let's see. Let me check some settings. That looks good. All right. Let me see here. Because I want to get a few people in. Because if I can get a few people in, we will take your suggestions on whether or not or what I'm going to review next, war game wise. So we got a few eyeballs in, but we'll hold off. I'll foreshadow it now, and then we'll talk later. So I'm getting ready to either do Battle for Kursk, which came from the C3I latest magazine, the 34. I'm either going to learn that and we'll do some reviewing, or Airborne over Europe. Now I'll review both of these. It's just which one's going to hit the table next. Well, there we go. We got Kabuki. Kabuki Kid is in. Hey, how you doing? Matt Curiosities is going to be in. Matt is going to be a guest, I believe. We've got a top 5. We won't say what it is yet. Next Saturday. I was supposed to have a live show coming in with a former Victory Games employee, but we weren't able to lock down yesterday's time and everything. So we'll just play by ear. I keep those loose. Yeah, Lou will definitely, so he says yes. He told me yes, he'll do the interview. We'll do it via phone, and I'm just going to put him on speaker. So it's going to be low tech, but he is I think it'll be a great interview. He's a great talker. We talked about all kinds of things, his magic shows, some of his game designs, some of his old game designs. So Matt says ventriloquism, magician, and musician. I knew about the magician. I don't think I knew about musician and ventriloquism. So, and then he even hit me up for why am I not designing games? Because a lot of war game players have a designer idea. And I'm like, well, I didn't even want to tell him I've kind of looked at some ambush stuff, done some stuff in ambush, because I don't think of myself as a designer. I don't think I'm dialed in enough to do that or to do it well. So without Ron's help, and then when COVID hit and everything else, I had to take a break from even doing some of the fixes for ambush on my missions that I was working on, because he is a professional editor. And he would say, what about this? Or please, I think you need to fix this, or this isn't clear. And I'm like, this is what I need. This is what I need. So Ron's been helping me with that. But then life comes in and kicks in and gets busy. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time. So Matt Chestnut, let me put this up on the screen. Lou made it in the CSR Hall of Fame when I was 3 years old. Wow. Wow. So let's see, when would that have been? 2010? Just kidding, Matt. Just kidding. You didn't date it. I bet you he got in, what is it? 89. I'm going to guess 89. Let us know what that is, Matt. Let's see. Kabuki. She wants to hear Lou recall the story of getting D&D dice back when it started. You bet. You bet. We'll bring that up. He had a couple things that he was telling me about, some of these games of his that he still had in shrink, and he had them in a garage. Sounded like maybe a detached garage, but I guess that garage caught fire, and he lost several mint copies of games. I was like, ooh. So I don't know if he'll get into that or not. We covered a spectrum, a big spectrum. He was inducted in 86. Cool. I got close. I figured I was close there. So, all right, let's see. What did I miss here? Yeah, Lou is a character. Yes, he is. I had to cold call him. I'd sent him some text, didn't get any response back. I emailed Game Science. They told me, yep, Lou's good to go. Contact him. Tom Shaw had given me some contact information. So, whoops, double clicked on that. And then I thought, you know what? I just need a cold call on a Saturday and see if he picks up. He picked up so formally, I thought I had a machine at first. This is Lou Zocchi. And I was waiting to say, please leave a message at the tone. And then I was like, oh, hello. And then you got to do the weird, awkward part where you're like, hey, this is a guy you've never met who has a YouTube show that you've probably never seen, and I want to interview you on said show. And then I quickly threw out Tom Shaw's name, and that was how I got his number, because I figured, okay, that'll give me a little legitness, a little bit of legit. And then he still was not quite sure if I wasn't scamming him in some way. I'm sure he's getting as many robocalls as I get. Hello, hate the robocalls. So apparently my truck, which is built in 1997, its warranty's almost up. Yeah, I know. Ran out years ago. Oh, yeah, I know. Kabuki had the phone call when hold on, let me put up the first part. She called him once upon a time because of an ad in in Dragon magazine. She was looking for back issues. The man kept me on the phone for an hour. Same. Yeah, I literally was kind of doing the wind down. I said, hold on a second. Hold on. And then he had a question for me. And I was like, okay. That was back when you paid for long distance. Wow. So, yeah, I think it'll be a great interview. Like I said, the way I'm going to do it, because I was talking about some of this before everybody started to pop in, was he doesn't have video. So I'm going to call him, just put it on speaker, and I'm not going to do it live. So we're just I'll record it kind of like this, but again, not live. And then that'll allow me to edit it and add in a bunch of photos. So, different photos of games he's designed, some photos of him. Hopefully he'll be able to send me some. We'll see. He's having all kinds of problems with his computer. 1-900 get dice. Wow. Okay. Look at that. Well, that's a cool number. Look at that. Vorpal's in. Friendly as ever. Because of that, Vorpal, I've got to pour me some whiskey. Look at this. Beautiful. I saved this. This is not what's in here. We did a 16 little sample blind test shootout. And I saved this as like a decanter. So because of the ugliness that just was perpetrated against me, and I haven't had any all day, I'm going to have one. Big old wooden block here. Let's go with a fancy glass from SMWS. It's like a little copita. It's just fun to say, copita. I'm going to pour that in there. Now, this is strong stuff. So this is a mixture of all these different peated whiskeys. All right, let's see. Vorpal saying, oh, yeah, okay. First of all, cool shirt. Yep. This is one of my favorites. I like red. Red's my favorite color. It's actually cold in my basement because it's just warm enough that the heater's not kicking on enough. And I went and put on my manga, one of my favorite mangas. This might have been, is this the Rhino? Yeah, this might have been my first. I kind of like the tiger stripe feel. And it's not cool, as you can tell by the hat and my choice of style. What else? It's great to see you all. Look at that. Look at that. All that. So, we'll come back to this. So, my next review is either going to be, and I'll review both of these, but the last 100 yards of volume 2, Airborne over Europe, or the C3I issue 34 magazine. Sorry for the glare. This is Kursk. Battle for Kursk. So I'm going to review one of these next. In between there, I'll probably there's another little solitaire game in C3I that I'll do as well. It's in here. I'm going to get that out. I think tomorrow I'm jonesing to get my B-17 plane back up Hamtaggery with the crew and get one of those filmed as well. So hopefully that happens tomorrow, but then I'm going to start learning one of these too. So don't vote yet, but before I shut this thing down, we'll do a quick vote of what you guys, the commenters, think I should review next. And that'll be the one that I'll learn. I will tell you that the last 100 yards, so I'm a tactical nut. I love tactical war games, especially World War II. And this one is interesting. Hey, Magnus is in from Sweden. Excellent. The cool thing with Mike Dinson's tactical series is that it uses this different I've read the rules, but I haven't put it out and played yet. This different like activation system. So, and it's really, if you're not in line of sight and you don't have the initiative is huge, then you can't activate those units. And that is very, very interesting. And mortars are extremely powerful. And they are in real life as well. So it's nice to see that. Let's see, Chief, what do we got here? My club is playing Apache Thunderbolt Leader. Review that one. That's cool. I've got the original version, not the new version, and hasn't been on the table in like a decade, maybe longer. I need to get that played again. The deal is, though, when I get a review copy, I want to get it reviewed. So I'm stuck with the Cult of the New for me. That is, but I like that. That's not a bad thing for me because I play wide, not deep. So getting new games is good, but I am a slow game learner. I will tell you that right now. I'm slow, and I like to play multiple times, solo. Sometimes my son will jump in. Sometimes a buddy will come over, but no buddies have been coming over with COVID. Even though my house has been COVID attacked, so all we have is antibodies here. Kabuki, we got Bjorn. All right, Forsberg is in. Nice hat. I like that with the little chef hat kind of thing and a meatball on top. I always think of Magnus from Norway, the chess guy. Let's see what else we got. We'll let that go. So we'll come back to these in a second. From what I understand, even the battle for Kursk is supposed to be kind of quick learning. So we'll see. Quick learning for the average person may take me longer. So we do have Lou Zaki. It's like hockey, but Zaki. I'll be getting in a audio interview with him just over speakerphone is what I'm going to do. He does not have video options. Again, I'll repeat myself just because of some of the folks coming in. I could have interviewed Richard Berg that way, just over the phone. He was pretty low tech. He didn't have a lot of the high speed router, stuff like that. And I missed an opportunity to interview him, and then he passed away. And that bugged me because he was willing to be interviewed. He just didn't have any of the equipment or the high-speed internet to do the link. I even said, hey, just use your smartphone. He said, flip phone. I was like, got it. Well, we can't do that then. And again, it wasn't like animus or anything. I was just like, okay, I can't. If I was thinking, I would have said, who cares? We'll do a phone call. Because I remember thinking it's a video show, but then I'm thinking, you know what? Now I got nothing, and he's passed. So I wish I would have had it. And so we're gonna interview Lou that way. Let's see, where are we at? I see something with the ski camp. What happened at the ski camp? What it was Magnus saying here? Hey, Magnus. Oh, that was Matt. When I was on a trip in Sweden, wow, that's cool. Just that sentence is cool. Ingmar Stenmark was the WC ski champ. And then 1977. What do you got from Vorpal? We had a death. Oh, my family and some grouch, unpleasant people. I told them my house has the COVID. They cannot come over. Okay. Wait. Hold on, Vorpal. There's no way you got grouch, unpleasant people in your family. Oh, my. Just teasing. Mm-hmm. That was that drink I had to take when you called me ugly. Let's see. I wanted to, hold on. I got to put this in. The original. There you go. Thunderbolt Batch Leader. What? How much? Holy moly. I don't even know how much that is. At the time when I lived in Tokyo. Oh, okay. What was that? Yen? That was too much. About $100. Yeah, that is. Holy moly. I've got it. Let's see. Nuno Lucas. Everyone, hello. Let's see. We got all the highs coming out to Nuno. Watch any good movies? You know what? No. I actually, Cobra Kai, I watched season 1, started getting into season 2 and have to stop. I've got to get my wife's seen Karate Kid 1. I don't think 2. But I'm going to get my boy, Bo, who's almost 14, and then we're going to watch the series. That show is awesome. They totally hit like the attitude of the 80s, and you get to see why Johnny's all messed up and everything. So that's what I want to go to. Now, I did have a buddy loan me several of his discs for Game of Thrones. And I've watched season 1, 2, and 3, but my wife hasn't. So I'd paused, and we're going to try to get that in. Let's see. Pass the bottle. If you were here, brother, Whiskey's always meant to be shared. It's kind of like board games. Board games and whiskey overlaps a lot. I'll have some whiskey folk make fun of my board game stuff every once in a while. I'm like, you don't get it. It really goes well together. A lot of people will buy a bottle and not even open it. They just look at it. Same thing with the games. You got other people that are like, games are meant to be played, not looked at. And whiskey's meant to be drunk, not looked at. Same. I think I could do a whole thing on how they're the same. Better shared. I love solitaire games. Don't get me wrong. I actually love solitaire games. I know some people, I had a commenter who said they don't like the trend of the solitaire game. I'm like, come on, man. The B-17 Queen of the Skies, 1983 is what got me into the hobby. So there's enough room in this niche, inside a niche, to start kind of fitting everybody. And every once in a while, I like just a solitaire game. So not to mention doing the war game thing, I'm kind of, when I'm learning, that's what I'm doing anyway. Sorry, went on a deal there. My Swedish legend. First of all, you should just stop the sentence there. Matt, you should just, my Swedish legend, boom, and then drop it. That's all right. Hockey talk. That if I had a hockey talk show and knew what I was talking about, I wouldn't. That'd be a hit. You'd have more than 5,400 subscribers. We got 20K, baby, on the whiskey side. Let's see. And then if you do Minecraft, my boy watches a 19-year-old kid that's got 1 million plus subscribers. And his shows are 3 hours long. And they watch the whole thing. And he makes like 5 million a month. And he's 19. Woo! I thought the board game, war game niche would take off. Sorry. Oh, it's just so funny when I see that. And I'm thinking, there was a cop making fun of a bunch of kids, I guess, like teenagers said that for their future, or high schoolers said for their future career, they want to be YouTubers. Nobody wants to be a movie star or anything. They want to be YouTubers. He goes, that's stupid. I go, well, they make a lot more money than movie people. And he's like, what are you talking about? So I showed him a couple and he was like dumbstruck. I said, yeah, that's right. Zero training. Well, video game playing is training now. Oh, let's see. What do we got? What challenged your whole worldview? I missed it. What did Dan say? I got this part, Dan. I wasn't paying attention. It has challenged my whole worldview. Vorpal, I have to drive 3 hours once a week to the nearest game club. I'm meeting new people, playing new games. That is genius. That again is I actually want to have a little whiskey club that'll come over because I got more whiskey than I can drink. And it gets sent to me from India and Ireland and Scotland and occasionally bourbon. You'd think I'd get a lot more bourbon, but we are the Scotch test dummies. We do bourbon as well, though. Kabuki Kid, solitaire gaming was booming already, but I think the pandemic supercharged it. I agree. Now publishers are crazy to not attempt or try to include a solo mode in games if it can work with their game. I agree. I got that Fallen Skies. I want to try that. It's like Space Invaders solo. Bjorn, I'm mostly a solo gamer, but it's always fun to play with more players, and I agree with you on the board game whiskey thingy. That's good. Wim Hof. I think he's living in Poland now, but isn't he from Sweden? Could be Denmark. I can't remember. Maybe he's in Netherlands or Norway. I don't know where he's from, but I've been doing the Wim Hof method. For those that know that, he's a bit of like a new wave hippie. What's the whiskey in the glass today, says Dan. Well, this is interesting. So this is not the English Whiskey Company, which was great whiskey, but I love their bottle so much, I saved it as a decanter for other whiskeys. So on our show, some of the most liked episodes we do is we will do our, what started with a March Madness tie-in where we did 16 different samples that we poured and did double blind. So Scott, my co-host, and I didn't know what they were. And what this one is March Peat Madness. So we took 16 different single malt peated whiskeys And we would do them in a 4 brackets, 4 in each bracket. We'd pick one, our favorite, and it would move on. And then we would just kind of work through. And then the fans get to see. Go to Scotch Test Dummies. You can see those YouTube. But when we're done, whatever's left over, we each pour, and it makes for a full bottle. And then this is, so you can't get this. This is a blend of 16 bottles. And so I couldn't really tell you what it is, but it's a ton of Isla whiskey. And I love peated. I just got a smell of turned earth and clay. That's what you get from peated. Loving Johnny Lawrence. Yes, you get to meet the stepdad and kind of see what's going on there. And he's slowly getting like more human. But then my kid was asking me about the way he would call kids by like whatever their weak point was. Like he called the guy with the cleft palate, he was calling him Lip. And now he wants to be called Spike, I guess. But my boy was like, is that how it was? I go, totally. Yeah. I was always tall and skinny. So there was always something in that. And they would attack your soft spot, meaning your fellow buddies. But it made you not care anymore. Usually. I actually learned that if the first thing people notice about me when I enter a room is that I'm really tall, it's better than somebody going, he's the real ugly guy. That's the first thing I noticed. That may be the second or third thing, but I'll take tall. Hey, look at that tall guy. Just came in a room. Good. Yeah, that's good. Hey, look at this smelly dude. No, you don't want to be that. You don't want to, hey, remember that smelly guy? Yeah, that's all I remember about him. You don't want to be that guy. All right, let's see. Sorry. My dinner is about ready. Oh, okay. You got to duck out. Doubt I will be back. No, you probably won't be back. I'll end this in an hour. So ciao. All right. Give me your vote, Kabuki. Airborne over Europe or Battle of Kursk. Give me your vote if you get a chance. All right. Let's see. Lou Zaki. What a great fellow. Yeah. We had a good time. Yeah. Or ugly. Vorpal. Hey, look at it. Ooh, that dude is ugly. I don't even know how tall he is, but he's ugly. Let's see. Lock and load. Oh, very cool. There's a Vorpal. This thing's not skimming all the way down. Am I all the way at the bottom? I think I am. Let's see. No, you, the guy who needs a shave guy. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of like it. My wife loves the beard. I like having that little, it's almost like a little French Foreign Legion style. Mm-hmm. At least even though I know this is a Scottish hat. Yeah, nobody can smell you on the internet. That's true. I guess I'm talking about the days where you were in person. It's funny. We'll get brand new rookies in, and you can just, some of them, not all, not ripping on millennials, but some of them, their social skills aren't there. Because in cop work, you got to walk up and talk to people and directly, and you got to go knock on doors, and it takes some of them a little getting used to. And I'm like, why? And then I forget they're of a different era. Here's Matt here. Oh, look, here comes Cat P, Fatso, and Jimmy. Right. That was high school right there. But see, I was weird in high school to the point where I've told this story a few times before. We'll leave this comment up just because I like how it reads, Matt. So I was tall enough that I played some basketball. I wasn't that very good, but when you're 6'4" in high school, you're okay. You're going to be okay at 6'4". You can at least rebound and block some shots. So I had some friends that were jocks. But I had friends that I was friends with from elementary school and all different types of friends. And one guy, there was a guy named Tucker. That was his last name. He loved, this back when you had like the shop class. This is high school, and you could just tell he was going to do something with automotive. And he was always down there. I mean, free time, he was working in the garage. They had a full-blown garage, and they were doing everything. So Tucker was always had grease under his fingernails, and he still wore the black leather jacket like 1958 style. And he didn't always take care of his hair. He didn't care. But Tucker was cool. I like Tucker. But I remember I was talking to him in the hall, and I noticed a couple jocks, one of my better buddies, three of them. One of them was standing off to the side, and I could tell they were kind of taking notice, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then when Tucker walked off, my one buddy that I was closer to came up and said, "Man, you don't want to be hanging out with Tucker. They're making fun of you for talking to Tucker." I was like, well, I was a little more blunt, but I said, screw them, basically. I don't care. Who are they? I barely even know those guys. Those guys are whatever. And he's like, well, they're not going to want you hanging out, with me and them over there if you're hanging out with Tucker. Well, guess what? Don't need to hang out with you or them then. And he was a little stunned by that because, and this is normal for kids. The acceptance is the key. I didn't care about it. So the jocks thought I was weird. And then I would play basketball anyway. And so other people are like, why are you always hanging out with the jocks? I was like, man, I can't win for losing. Let's see, unboxing 4 game orders while I watch, including, Undaunted Normandy. Very cool. That's a deck builder, and I like those, but I just love them when they're on my phone. I don't like doing the shuffling and then missing the rules and then what happens here. So they need to do Undaunted as an app on my phone. I love deck builders on my phone. Okay, here's a vote here. Vorpal says Kursk. So let's get into that. We still got a little time, but there's 1 for Kursk. There's 2 for Kursk. Wow. Okay, 2 for Kursk. I'm going to take a sip on that. Timon's on. Otto Scorzini. Yes. Command action. What is this? Behind the Soviet lines sounds badass to me. What are you talking about? So you're just saying that's a game you'd like to play? Because I know who Otto is. He had his big old cut there. He freed Mussolini till they got him again. Anyway, he did all the English-speaking Battle of the Bulge behind the lines stuff. Let's see. We'll come back to that. Von Deacon question. Chief, have you checked out World War II Commander Volume 1 Battle of the Bulge by Compass Games? Good game. I haven't. The cool thing was having John Kranz on. What I really wanted to get, and somebody was teasing me about wearing this hat when I did my Red Alert video for the CNC Command and Colors Red Alert. And they said you should do the Jacobite or Jacobin Revolt or something. I can't remember. And I knew the Tricorn deal. And so I reached out to Compass and John, and I said, hey, I don't know if you guys are willing or if you even have them in print, but I want to do a CNC, not only the individual games, but talk about the greater thing of the Borg. And so I'm trying to get a few of those I haven't played yet and then do a grander look at CNC. So I haven't heard of that. I will tell you, I'm not a big Battle of the Bulge guy. I've got a couple games on it. I had a digital version from, and I'm going to forget his name, and that was good. But I don't know. I've never been as much into the Bulge. Nuts. I should like it more. Undaunted app sounds like an amazing idea. Yes. I'm just telling you, if they do that, it's money. I will buy it. Oh, Kursk. Kursk is winning easily. Okay. So, Kursk always blows me away. So the Germans see that the Russians are basically completely preparing a layered, in-depth, miles-back defense. My understanding, although I only know a little bit of Kursk, is they even had some good flyovers with their scout planes saying, whoa, they built tank traps, all kinds of stuff. I don't understand why they didn't just roll around. I don't get it. Why go into the teeth? Seems like they could. I know there was pocket and all this stuff, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't you go, set place there and boom, we're rolling 250 miles that way and we're coming around from the back. I don't know. Obviously I've got information they didn't have, but I did read they had good intel that the defense was prepared. So that perplexes me. It's a good thing because you did not want Germany beating the Russians. Yeah, your red alert video cost me a small fortune. Had to have it. I'm telling you, that game throws, it's like comic book space fleet action is what it is. It's like boom, boom, and it's flowing back and forth. It's fast. It is fast. It's in your face. The second game I did with my son right away, back to back, took an hour. And I mean, you're talking what a phenomenal game. If you like the gamer side of it rather than the sim side of it that you kind of get with Ancients or some of the more meaty CNC. That's what's so cool about the CNC. You can have something that's super light. You know, it's almost just like a hint of the theme. And yeah, okay, we've got the left, center, right figured in here. But then you can have more of a gritty realism that's a full simulation that's kind of flowing. And it's like, wow, how is he doing that? I got some ideas. Let's see. Vorpal saying, Chief, I wanted to tell you I met an older gentleman. What do you say? At my new game club. He used to work for Strategy and Tactics. Cool. All I know is his first name, John. Cool. Strategy and Tactics is cool. I liked if you didn't see my interview with John Kranz. So one thing I'm trying to do, here's another Kursk vote. Another Kursk vote sent. I guess that'll be the next one I learn. Oh, wait, he also worked at TSR when they took over. That was usually the death note. What was I going to say? Escape me. I don't even remember. Let's see. I've not voted yet. And Magnus, because his name is Magnus, his vote is worth 5. Maybe true. Possibly true, Magnus. By the way, says Dan, I've always had a soft spot for your ham tag guys since a group in Olathe, Kansas. Kansas got to stick together. Very cool. That's cool. You're up in Olathe. Yeah, love it. You know, Judd needed to take a break. His daughter's doing some sports, that kind of thing. I think he's put it out as well. He ended up catching COVID, and they had that heavy fatigue there as well. That had nothing to do with the stop in the show. His daughter playing sports, kids first. And, you know, it's good to take a break. You got to take a break from the tag every once in a while. But thank you. I just have fun with it. What I love is just the chatter. I like to have chatter around my hobbies, whether it's whiskey or board games. And I think the more we do, the more fun it is, in my opinion. In fact, almost all of my initial board game purchases came from Ham Tank video suggestions. Tip, me too. Greg or Judd would say something. I'd be like, what? Man, that sounds great. And I would go buy it. I'd go find it. And so the same thing happened to me. I only had one lucky thing, because Judd calls it the ham tag effect, where there'll be one price social media on like eBay or whatever, and the price will pop up a little bit because we'll drive it up. I don't know if I buy that. I don't think we're big enough, but I do know before, because I would be editing and I'd be like, oh, I need to go buy that at least before I put it out. I need to go pick that game up just in case there's a rush based on the ham tag show, which there really hasn't. That is the beautiful thing. You know, you can get out there. There's some games I can't remember off the top of my head that I wanted to pick up that I'd run across, and you're able to go out there and pretty much get them. And if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get them unpunched. Now, again, I don't even care because I plan on playing them. So I don't mind buying them punched. And gamers are kind of anal. So, I mean, they're usually bagged and they're labeled. And I'm like, love gamers. Board games are great, but tabletop miniatures game is in his blood. That's good, Vorpal. I like a hybrid, like Zombie Side. I love seeing the minis, but I can't get into measuring distances as much. I just want to say, okay, I need to be within 4 hexes or 2 hexes or adjacent. And that's where the board games do me good. Trevor's in. Hey, Trevor. Hey, hey. There's the roundabout. Magnus Vorpal, great to see you. You missed Kabuki. She had to go eat. Again, so far, it's been overwhelming. Do I play next the Battle for Kursk, which is from C3I issue 34, or the next one on the table, The Last 100 Yards, Airborne over Europe. It's kind of a neat system. There's tactical can hem you in a little bit. And everybody knows, or most people know, that Conflict of Heroes is my favorite tactical. Oh, he uses hexes, not rulers. Okay, well, there you go. Well, then you're kind of close to board games anyway, brother. Richie Z. Look at that. Richie Z, whiskey guy. Let's see. What's on deck for Ham Tag? Matt, the Greek, Kyriasis, is going to come on next Saturday, and we are going to do top 5 games that can be played in an hour-ish. You can get a little bit of fudge over. But I thought that was a great list, his suggestion, and we're going to come up with that. And it doesn't mean exactly what the box says, because there's some games that I can play that I know they say it'll take, 90 minutes, but I'm like, nope. And setup is not included, at least in my list. I'll tell you that right now. If I included that, there'd be nothing on there. Very few. So the game's all set up, all ready to go. We've all played it multiple times. We know exactly what to do, and go. Hour-ish. So that'll be the list. That will be the list. What do we got here? Vorpal Blood Rage is a good example. Board game plus minis. Yes. Actually, Red Alert is a perfect one. You got your minis. You got your giant hexes. It's a cloth mat. Let's see. What is this? Oh, yeah. You can buy some used games. He likes it when they come pre-clipped and stored in trays. Yep. I'm not a big clip fan. I'm not anti-clip, but the edges don't bother me. And sometimes they make them easier for me to pick up, and I've had to get tweezers. So I don't even, clipping's good. I think I would end up like not precisely clipping, and some would be off, and that would bug me and bug you. But I know there's some precision clippers out there. What is this? Timon, sorry, was trimming the lemon tree. Oh, Lordy. Doesn't sound right, Trevor. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Where are we at? Here's Vorpal. Yes, Chief. I am hybrid board game miniature gamer. Oh, and now here's a good deal. Super Bowl. Oh, that's Sunday. So, isn't it? It's got to be Super Bowl Sunday, yeah. But maybe I'm missing something there because we're doing the show Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I missed a comment in there. Where are we at? Of course, we're always guessing when the chief decides to do a stream. Yeah, I like to do them ad hoc. And then what I do need to do, Trevor has got me where I've got to announce the Saturday show at least 24 hours in advance on the Friday. That's good. But I need to come up with then like a tile, or I just need to do, I don't know. I need like a tile that I can just put the date in there so people can see that as the thumbnail. So, let's see. Vorpal has chariots, but no elephants. Great sentence. Clipping mandatory. Hold on, Rick. I got Rick in. Come on, Rick. It won't pull up. I want that pull up. That's weird. Maybe there we go. Wow, I clicked it like 5 times. Clipping mandatory with games that allow you to stack above 2 units and additional counters on top. All right. Not a big game we're stacking and clipping them, but it's all cool. You guys can do whatever you want. It's like Judd with his sleeves. The guy, I'm like, it's plastic, man. I want to touch the paper. Let me touch the plasticized paper, not the plastic sleeve. And I hate shuffling them. They're slippery and they go all over the place and they don't feel real. But for those of you that want to sleeve them, sleeve them. I actually don't like protecting them. I'm not going to be so harsh that they're going to like get grease on them. That would be a problem. I'll clean my hands. But then my first Ticket to Ride game that got my wife and I back into the gaming hobby in '06. I have the Ticket to Ride Anniversary Edition. It's nicer, it's bigger, it's prettier. I like to break out the little Hobbit cards, the original map, and the cards. I'll riffle shuffle them, and they're a little dirty. I'm like, yeah, we've played this baby. I like to play them when they're well used. I'm like, look at this, we're beating this one up. Woo, money's worth. Now they got to still be able to be usable. I got a little concerned. My ambush game I played so much when I was a kid. Your character's either standing or crouched, and then you throw the token on when they're prone. The counter would start to wear out, and you could tell you were getting down to the white on some of it. I was like, uh-oh, this could be a problem. I think I even put some Scotch tape on one of them that was just, I must have moved them crouched a lot or something. Trimming the lemon tree equals yard work. Whatever. I don't buy that at all. Yeah, I'm going to walk the dog later. I don't even know what that means. Just teasing you, Trevor. Please, Chief, you need a handkerchief for that hawk. What are you talking about? What hawk? What that hawk? What, the nose? What was I doing there? I don't even understand what you're saying. Once again, you're being mean. I got to take a sip. Chief, have you played Nevsky yet? I've not, Jason. I've not. Sorry. Let's see. I've heard about it, but now I can't even place what it is, so I'm blanking. Vorpal, I just ordered, hold on. 25 Vietnam death cards and sleeves before the show started. Okay. Now, see, everything I've read about Vietnam death cards was the special forces guys would leave the ace of spades behind, and that meant bad luck or death. Who knows if that's true? Let's see. Hobbits are meant to be dirty, even the cards. Yes, Rick. Yes. I call those little tiny Days of Wonder cards or whatever Hobbit cards. Nevsky is the latest Volko game. I have not. I will tell you, I kind of got burned out on the coin. And although I'm intrigued because they moved away from their spreadsheet bots to I believe it's a card deck, a deck of cards that's going to allow you to, and they basically used the Conflict of Heroes card deck system that allowed solo play. Gunter Eichert came up with it, and I heard it's not a direct copy, but they loved what it did. So I heard they're doing something like that. That had me intrigued. Because I will tell you, when I was going to a board game night, I could get some of those in, but nobody at this house is going to play coin. And if I'm getting a group to come over, I would rather play some other kind of war game stuff, or it's way the other way, and it's a couple, and we're doing like Reiner Knizia games or different Euro light games, and that's cool. That happens a lot at my place. Let's see. I've got a couple. They've all had COVID. We've had COVID, so we're all antibodied up, baby. Antibodied up. So there's no fear. Yes, ace of spades, but not spec forces. It was the 173rd Infantry. Huh. Didn't know that. Any thoughts on Caesar Rome versus Gaul? Somebody else have to come in. I usually don't go into a lot of the Roman era stuff. Nothing against it, but I've seen that title, but I haven't dove in. Let's see. Jason, Nevsky's not coin. Okay, but it's part of a new system called Campaign and Levy, Medieval Warfare. Huh. Okay. Well, you have my interest piqued. So when I hear Runke, of course, I think coin. I think if it's GMT, I thought I read something on that, but it didn't grab me. But now you've kind of interested me. Oh, really? So when asked to make the cards bicycle, Cardman Company made them for free. They must have just made a whole bunch of ace of spades. That's cool. A bit coin-like, though. Okay. All right, one more bid. Everybody has voted for me to review last 100 yards next. No, they haven't. It's Kursk. But get in your vote because that'll be the one that hits the table. Both these showed up about the same time. And I've completely read through the magazine. Gosh, I love that magazine. And now it's time to do some of the gameplay. Wow, look at all this. It's not coin. It's war between Latin Teutonic and Orthodox Russian. Goodness. Okay. Well, we're going to wind this down right in an hour. So we got about 10 minutes. So far, the votes have all been for me to review the Kursk game. I will, of course, get to last 100 yards. I was a little slow. I was like, okay, another tactical system. I kind of have my favorite tactical system. And I think tactical systems are hard to do, or at least they're hard for me to buy off on. Having been in a light infantry unit, I love tactical games and I like seeing what they do. But I don't know, if sometimes the feel can be like, and I don't know if I could put a feeling on but I'm hoping this sounds interesting and unique enough that that it's going to fit a good niche just for me reading the rules. Again, we'll see. I vote you review your fan-made ambush. Well, that is in the works of being improved. So Ron Nicholson is a professional. He's now gone semi-retired book editor. And he agreed to help me go through everything, really beat it up. And he even said, "Are you ready for me to do this?" Yes. And he beat it up and said, "This confusing, or this doesn't sound as good. You should do this. This is too wordy. I had a wrong number that will kill ambush." And I even know that. And I think I just like transposed something on a little, it's terrible. And he caught that. So I've been fixing it, which is why they've never went back. And Butterfield and Eric Lee Smith said he won't touch ambush again. Now we'll see. I keep thinking it might get reprinted at least, but he doesn't want to mess with it. It's actually kind of hard because everything's you got to anticipate what the players may do rather than what you want them to do. That's hard. So you don't want it to be just like direct linear pass, but you've got to have a scenario that'll work. Ron found a few issues and said, "You know what? After playing this thing 3 times, mission 1, I won't spoil anything." He said, "If I moved my troops as fast as possible to this location, I was set up to optimize and do X, and then I could do Y." And I was like, ew. He goes, "So there's no way I knew to do that the first time, but then I like to play him again and then again." So he goes, he had a couple tweak suggestions that would allow you, if you played it 2 or 3 times, that it would still be challenging. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then I got COVID, and then I got backed up on reviews, and then normal dad duties and husband duties. And I told Ron, Ron, I still got it on the table, but I haven't even been able to do the latest fixes, and we were getting pretty close. And he goes, "Hey, it's your time, man." He goes, "I'll help you out whenever." So I was like, sweet. Now I call him Right Boot Ron. So anybody that's been following the Ham Taggery show, the B-17 session reports, I have my Patreon supporters, and they're on the plane. And I love that game and the stories it tells, so I've been alliterating a little bit more. And when Ron flies, he flies with a big boot hanging from some stuff right there in the cockpit. I don't know where or how low it hangs. That sounded terrible. But it's because when he got shot in the right foot, right boot, it messed up his boot. And so the crew came in, and there's first mission back, they all had right boots hanging all over the B-17. And then the ground crew is missing a boot. So they're like, "Hey, throw him out." And the crew's running around chucking the boots back out. But then Ron held on to one, a big one. And I'm now going to make the owner of that Rex. So a big guy from the ground crew. It's kind of like their lucky rabbit's foot. So I'm doing a whole alliteration. If you don't like that, you won't enjoy B-17. But review your fan-made ambush. I will once it gets ready. Like I said, Ron's running it through the ringer, and then I got busy, and it's hard to do that, and this and that, 2 shows. And when I get it out, and I feel it's when Ron says, yeah, I think it's good to go, I'll review the very first one. Hard to review, though, because you don't want to give any of the spoilers away. But I'll do it. I don't know when it'll be, though, because I'm going to need to take a day off this week just to get this played and reviewed. So I saw something with Pancaldi. You messed up ambush 50 lashes, sir. I wouldn't say it's messed up. There was I had a wrong number, which that will throw things for a loop, at least for that little branch. And then he tightened things up is what I would say. So now we've had Pancaldi on Ham Tag. Pancaldi's been on the show before. He's even been on my whiskey show. When is he going to be featured on an episode? I've had him on. So when I did Ham Tag, the expansion, it was, you had to not be from the United States. So I had Pancaldi from Canada, and oh my God, he's from England, and I'm going to blank on his name now. He does translations and stuff for a Spanish designer, Juan Logos. I'm forgetting the name. Man, how can I forget his name? It was great. And then I did some interviews too. So Dan is a hoot. 2-player ambush, and I'm the moderator. Always make the better player be the Vietnamese. Cool. Yeah, you're doing a whole Vietnamese thing with the 2-player version, if I remember right, Vorpal. Very cool. Bongo's in, as I like to say, Bongo Gorilla. Now he limps like Festus. Cool. All right. We're at 56, almost 57. Last chance. If a bunch of you vote for Airborne over Europe, that'll be the next one I do the review on. Or, so far it's been unanimous, Battle for Kursk. Whoops, glare. That's the C3I episode 34. And I will do their little solitaire Vietnam game as well. Little bit more of the March Peat madness. I love peated whiskeys. That's my favorite. So I'll put that over here now. I love bottles. This is this cool kind of bottle here. You're like, boring. All right, let's see. Any last votes? Kursk, Airborne over Europe, the last 100 yards. C3I, yes, C3I is available. It is. So, next Saturday, Matt the Greek will be on. We'll be doing Ham Tag Guest, top 5 war games that you can play in an hour-ish. So, and the ish has leeway. And that should be fun. You brought it up. What is this? What is peated whiskey? Oh, so peat moss. So throughout parts of Scotland, they used to heat their stoves and whatnot with peat moss. And they used to dry the barley, the malted barley, with peat moss. And it imparted a smoky flavor. Sometimes tobacco notes, sometimes ash and soot and creosote and railroad ties and all kinds of stuff. There's a vote for the last 100 yards. Boom. There's one. And I hated peat at first. It tasted like you were licking an ashtray. A lot of people never warm up to it. I get it. I did not like it at first. Other people will smell it across the room because it's so pungent and go, what is that? And they'll love it immediately. So peat is, for me, an acquired taste. And then I became what they call a peat head. It's almost like a grognard. without the grumpy. I was Pete, and my co-host Scott was slow to come over, and then it clicked with him. Now, I like all kinds of whiskey and bourbon. Well, bourbon is whiskey. Like all kinds of whiskey. But my favorite, when it's cold out, I love a nice peated whiskey. It just kind of warms you. If you're sitting, and better yet, sitting by a fire, just sipping on a single malt peat. Oh, heaven. Add in a little bit of board game fun. Beautiful. Beautiful is what it is. We're right at an hour, so I'm going to wind it up. The votes are in. I will there's a second one, but Magnus gets still one vote. So we're going to stick with Battle for Kursk. It wins. Don't worry, though. I'll be doing the last 100 yards. I'll be doing that as well. I was actually all read up on the rules for the last 100 yards. It was going to be next. But I thought, let me bring it to you guys. And sure enough, you guys wanted Kursk. I believe I said no, but in spirit. So Wim Hof, anybody from Europe know what I'm talking about when I say Wim Hof or the Wim Hof method. And then we'll get off. I had a buddy, super fit, about 53 years old, has the body of a 25-year-old, and he's ripped. Not like a current 25-year-old. That almost doesn't mean anything anymore. He'd be like, what? I've seen some out of shape 25-year-old. And he was like, you got to try this Wim Hof method. And I was like, got it. And he actually bought me his book. And it's been pretty good. The breathing technique, the cold showers. Woohoo. So Rick has C3I Kursk on the table right now. What are you thinking so far, sir? Nuno says, yep. So you're familiar with Wim Hof, I'm assuming. Disqualified, voted twice. Let's see. No, not twice. Just a reminder. Kursk has won. Breathe, Chief. Breathe. Oh, I get out of breath now, Vorpal. Let's see. I think we're good. All right. Oh, the breathing technique. Actually, with the Wim Hof method, I've got as long as breath hold for 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So pretty good. Saw what I saw. Gonna start tomorrow. What is this? Oh, he hadn't started. It's just set up for game using historical stance table P14. Got it. First vote was false start. Dang, showed up late. Yeah, you can always watch it. Messing up rules. Love it. You can go watch it in post. It does have to load. And the longer I go, the longer it takes to load. So, but hey, it is. Let me wind it up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got tons of great comments coming in. Thanks for the votes. Look for Lou Zocchi. Sorry, Zaki. It's like hockey, but Zaki. It's going to be a couple weeks before we do the interview, and then I'll have to get it edited and add in some photos and stuff. But it's going to happen, and I'm excited. Like I said, we were on the phone for an hour. My wife's like, "Who are you talking to?" Because we were all over the place with different stuff. So again, thank you, everybody. I will be signing off, and feed the niche.